0, 1. Let's get started.
What is up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in to another video here on Chris VQ. As always, I'm Chris, so let's get into it. Today is the day. We are pulling the motor out of the G. So I'm starting to do prep work right now. I got a couple of things I still need to do. Other than that, though, we're pretty much to the point where it's ready to be pulled out. I got the bumper off, the core support, the hood, the radiator, the AC condenser swung to the side. Still got to pull off the AC compressor, which I'm probably about to do here now. I got to start releasing the belts and everything like that. I got to pull the AC compressor and the power steering pump, pull those to the side, get those out the way. And I think other than that and like the exhaust, that's pretty much all we got left besides mounts. So I'm getting the car up on jack stands right now. Excuse my voice. I don't know, my voice is like really crappy this morning, but getting the car up on jack stands right now. Other than that, I think that's really about it. I gotta wait for like an hour and a half for my buddy to get here because he's coming from another town, and he's got the engine hoist or the engine crane and everything like that, so we can actually pull the motor out. But I'm gonna try to get as much prep work done as I can. Okay, so we're pretty far at this point. Pretty much only thing left to do is pull the fuel rail and then start undoing like the exhaust and the mounts. So that's the next steps. I am gonna wait for my buddy to get here though, because it's just it's a lot easier, and I'd rather have the crane ready to go when I do take off the fuel rail, so that way we can bolt the fuel rail or bolt it up to where the fuel rail mounts, and that way it's already secure and we can start getting everything unbolted. But everything else is done. I'm gonna flip the camera real quick and show you guys what all I have done. Okay, so this is the car currently. Got the radiator drained. That's right there with all of the delicious coolant. We got the AC condenser right there. So that's swung out of the way because I don't want to release the refrigerant if I don't have to. That's another thing too that I have to get off, is the AC condenser. I have to break that free. So that's one of the next things I'll probably do once he gets here. Then we just got mounts, exhaust, fuel rail, and then that's it. And then it should, keyword should, come out with no issue.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, obviously, should and does, two different things. But given this is my first time, I'm gonna go at it with an open mind.
Got him. We fucking got him.
All right, so engine's out, trans is out and disconnected. So you see, we got a whole open area. I'll probably try to do maybe a little bit of cleaning in here, but I don't really have a lot to clean with, so I'll probably try to do as best I can, and fuck it, we ball. So, but for a quick laugh, this is what the previous owner wrote on the clutch. It says, "If you're reading this, I feel sorry for you." Now, I don't know what that means, and we haven't taken the clutch off yet, so we haven't really got to figure out what that means. So I'm praying that doesn't mean there's like some surprises behind that clutch. But other than that, that was probably like the one funny thing we found in this whole situation, which pretty much made pulling this thing apart kind of worth it. But we got the trans off. Still got to do throw out bearing, and then other than that, getting everything done, bolting it back together, and somehow getting it back in the car, because getting this bitch out was a fucking hassle. You guys can see from the ruts in the ground, we had to hook it to his truck and fucking pull it with the truck to get it out of the. Got everything but the oil drained. That still has to be drained so I can do the oil pan gasket. And we got trans mount, engine mounts to do. Oh yeah, speaking of engine mounts, that's my engine mount. That's the rest of the engine mount. So yeah, fucking awesome. Those definitely were about to go. One of them wasn't even bolted to the ground, so that's cool. Like it was just in there. It didn't even bolt into anything. But yeah, so we got the harness out of the way, all over here, and then engine, trans. So yeah. All right, so it is day 2. We ended up not getting the trans engine back in last night just because we got rained out for a little while and then just ran out of daytime trying to get everything done. So this is how the motor sits now. You guys can see. Let me see. There we go. That's how the motor sits now. Trans is back on. man, that throttle bearing was a bitch. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Probably won't be connecting my exhaust back right away because my exhaust flange, or my downpipe, the gaskets on those were extremely cooked. And honestly, it really needs some new bolts. So I think I'm gonna try and get some new bolts for the downpipes. Other than that, everything else went pretty smooth. Besides obviously getting rained out for like 2 hours yesterday. But I mean, we still did it in pretty good time. We had the engine out in about 3 hours, which I think is pretty good for my first time. So engine, trans, done. Engine mount's done. I still gotta do the trans mount. I'm debating on whether or not I'm gonna do that once it's back in, because it's not hard. It's only 2 bolts. Just pop up, take it off, put a new one on. So honestly, it's not even in back condition, so I might not replace it, but then again, I might, because I already bought the trans mount, so it's no point to just not replace it now. Other than that, everything else went smooth. I mean, it was very simple. Had a little bit of trouble getting the oil pan off, but we got like a really small screwdriver, tapped it in a few times, it came right down. But yeah, so we got everything done, other than the valve cover gaskets and the intake gaskets, which I'm gonna do once the motor is back in the car, because I don't really need the motor to be out of the car to do the valve cover gaskets. It doesn't really help me or hurt me, because the intake manifold's already off. So I figured if that's the case, I can access everything at that point and just go ahead and do them myself and get them out of the way, because my buddy just have to go home today, and we have to figure out a way to move the shop crane, which if you guys can see, I put it on some plywood and everything, put it on some plywood, and then I need to get this side on some plywood, but it's in the grass, so obviously the weight of the motor made it like sink into the grass. But yeah, so we gotta level the engine back out a little bit, like, so it's definitely like tilted heavy. Other than that though, that's pretty much it. So we just gotta get the motor back in the car today. That's the goal, is just to get the motor back in the car, get the engine mounts back in the holes and line them up, set them in there, and then I'll probably just leave it at that, and then I can go underneath and like jack up the trans with the regular like floor jack and get everything mounted up back there. And then I gotta go inside, do my shifter. I guess the big part is probably gonna be trying to line that drive shaft up for real. But other than that, that's where we're at right now. It keeps raining, so I'm trying to keep my car covered as best as I can, like the engine harness and everything like that, because I don't want it to get damaged or, I don't know, like just soaked with water and then not be able to use it. It's about a week or so after I actually did everything. The car is back together, so I will show you guys that here in a second. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it's pretty straightforward engine to pull out and put back in. It took me about 6 hours altogether, pulling it out, putting it back in the car. It honestly took me less time getting it back in the car than it did me getting it out of the car. So if that tells you anything, I don't know, but pretty straightforward. All right, so this is the car. Like I said, everything's back together. So my plenum was originally black, which I do think if you look in one of my other videos, I did show my engine and you can see that. So I went ahead and like cleaned it up and I guess left it kind of like a bare metal finish. I do think it looks a lot better. It looks a lot more appealing in the engine bay. I think that if I ever go ahead and do like water pump and like gallery gaskets and all that, I might go ahead and try to do the same thing to that, like the big timing cover, but that's a way more extensive job than, you know, doing it to that. So that was already off for the engine pull, so I didn't really have to like worry about like having to take it off all the time, putting it back on. It just kind of, once I took the intake system out, I didn't really worry about it. So I did that. Like I said, the engine is back in. We did new engine mounts, trans mount in the back, engine exhaust manifold gaskets, valve cover gaskets. Also, I don't know if anyone's ever done this or tried this with the VQs, but I have a plenum spacer, and it was a cheap one, I'm not gonna lie. It was like an Amazon, eBay one, and it didn't come with a gasket. So all I did was I just took the old gasket and like the old original lower intake gasket that goes on this side, that goes around the entire like plenum bolt setup, and I just clipped the middle and then just put it back on top, essentially like a metal gasket. So hopefully it doesn't like cause any problems. If it doesn't, recommend, if you do end up getting like a cheaper plenum spacer, not like the expensive Z1 metal one that comes with the gasket, give that a shot. I mean, if it fits, it ships essentially. I would just hopefully just kind of hoping to maybe seal up the area a little bit better. So we'll see how it works. I mean, like I said, it runs on the same bolt pattern as the outside. The only thing is like you have to clip the inside piece, just because there's no inside bolts to bolt down to. It would just kind of be hanging there. Car's fully wired back up. Like I said, just waiting to get fluids, and then yeah, we'll be going ahead and starting this up probably in the next video. And then hopefully after that, if everything runs good and it performs well, we'll go ahead and do a POV drive in the car after the engine pull and see if I can compare it to like how the car used to drive and see if it drives any better or more stable or anything of the such. Hopefully with the new engine mounts it will, just because the old ones were pretty messed up. But like I said, that's pretty much where the car sits at right now, and that's where we're going to leave it until we get the fluids, and then we'll go ahead and do the whole bleeding process and everything like that. And with that, that's going to go ahead and end the video. I do appreciate everybody that supports from IG, TikTok, and everything like that. Please keep supporting. It is really helping me keep the like morale up to keep posting these videos. I know VQ content is not that entertaining just because there are a bunch of VQ owners, and pretty much everything you can do to these cars has probably been done, and it's probably been recorded and been posted. But I'm trying to give you the aspect of, you know, just, hey, normal guy trying to do stuff to his car. So like I said, thank you guys for all the support. I'm try to get this video posted in the next 2 days if I can, so look out for that. I'll be posting about it on my socials, IG, TikTok. Follow me at ChrisVQ. That's where I usually post all my quick stuff, just to show the car and what's been going on with it. So if I don't post on YouTube, it definitely is something probably been posted on TikTok within the last few days. So check that out. Like I said, at ChrisVQ. And like I said, again, I thank you guys all for the support, the likes, the comments, everyone that's been interacting with my videos. It does mean a lot to me, because I guess essentially this type of stuff can get very discouraging when it comes to doing that stuff, just because if no one really responds or says anything, you know, it kind of like throws you off, like, oh dang, like my videos aren't any good. But obviously some people do enjoy my content, so I do appreciate everyone that does enjoy it. And feedback, comments, all that stuff, I do appreciate it. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.